Hi everyone, I'm Aga, I'm compulsive eater. I weigh and measure 3 meals a day out of GreySheet. I commit them to my sponsor. I don't eat in between no matter what, and God and abstinence are most important in my life today. And my abstinence date is the 7th of February 2021. Glad to be here, thank you. So today is exactly 2 years and 8 months of my abstinence. It's my almost birthday. Anyway, in my mantra, I said that God and abstinence are most important in my life today, and that order is not a mistake because I did it in purpose, saying that God is most important on the first place, because I do believe that when I put him first, everything else is on the right place, and which I didn't know before my abstinence. And with this companion, God and abstinence, I feel safe. And before I tell you like about my recovery, I wanted to say a little bit of my story, where I come from. I was born as a healthy and chubby baby. I was hungry all the time, 24 hours, which I was announcing to the world very loud. And I was requesting being fed all the time. And my family wasn't wealthy, but I don't remember being hungry at all. But I remember my mom cooking before or after work, and my dad baking stuff. And I remember, which was brilliant, there wasn't fast food, no street food and takeaways at all at the time. I remember also family days out, when we always had healthy snacks. And today I would be happy with that, but at that time I was jealous. I was unhappy because I was jealous that other children had something I couldn't have, like chewing gum, sweets and stuff. So what I did, I don't remember like stealing food from other children, but I do remember seeking like used chewing gum with children attached to the underneath the chairs and desks at school. And this is what my habit, I'm very embarrassed about. And I also had some traumatic experience from childhood, which I didn't remember for a long time. It was that I was left without food for a couple of days because I was complaining about something that was cooked at home, and I was begging for food, but my parents were very strict about this. And I'm trying to remember things from the past which could have some impact on my addiction and on my life today. But so one of them would be definitely my mom saying, I think I was a teenager. She was saying, "Don't eat so much because you will be fat." But what I've heard instead, that you are fat, and that's how I was looking at myself, even if I was underweight at that time. And at that age, I think I was a teenager, I started starving myself, and I transferred it into my early adult life. I always believed that I'm too big, and when I see my photos from that time, I have no idea why I felt like this. But when I got married and I gave birth to my children, I put weight, of course, but I never came back to my normal size after that. And but I didn't. I knew I have a problem with my weight, but I didn't know this is a problem with my food, with the patterns of eating, and I started like kind of self-medicating. Doing diets is a kind of self-medicating, and some of those diets were successful, some not. I'm not gonna to say their names because I don't want to advertise them. But I was dieting. I was treating like the symptoms of my illness rather than the reasons, the causes. And at some point, those diets became boring and didn't make any like spectacular changes to my body. So I started looking for something different, and also at some point I started eating over my feelings and emotions, because the symptoms of my depression, which started when I was in my 20s, they get worse, they worsen, and that was the moment when I reached for the food. Even positive emotions and feelings were difficult to me, because when I was a child, we weren't allowed to express in neither like positive or negative emotions and feelings. That was very weird. So very quickly, this behavior, of course, developed into addiction and allergy to food, and I was just dependent on my feelings and emotions, other people, and most of all myself. And the clue was to find the way out. And when I reached the weight, just 220 pounds, I can transfer it into stones, but it was too much for me. I was really overwhelmed, because I remember the promise I gave myself when I reach 100 kilo, I'm gonna to take my life. And so when I saw 220 pounds on the scale, I was scared, because that meant to me, okay, I have to now do what I decided. So I had a couple of suicidal attempts, but none of them was successful, thankfully. Once I was unconscious for a couple of days, and it was very dangerous. But since then, I haven't been trying to kill myself, but I had to express, to like let my feelings to go out. So I was cutting my legs for a long time. And then I met someone who was weighing and measuring his food, and we were talking a few minutes, and then I wasn't like paying much attention to what he said, but 2 months later I joined GreySheet. It was May 2019, I think. Yeah. And I'm not gonna to lie that I joined GreySheet because my problem was my weight. And the beginning was that I treated GreySheet as another diet. In this way, I just was, became a how I was called chronic relapser. And I thought that it's gonna to last for ages, that I will never recover from that food addiction. And one of my friends in GreySheet said that I can't become abstinent because I put other people in front of me, that they are more important. And that was really true, because more important for me was whether they are happy, whether they offer something to eat and I eat it, because I don't want to upset them. So anyway, that was right. And my sponsor at that time said something more important, that I can't get abstinent because my relationship with God is not right. And we started working on it. Thank you. You are here. And but it was good for a while, and then I left GreySheet. Suddenly I felt I don't belong, and I left GreySheet. And those 3 months of isolation was the most humiliating experience in my life, I think, because I was eating for 3 months. I started in the morning and I finished after 3 months. And I was my addiction like progressed during that time. That was terrible period in my life, and that was the proof that there is something wrong. Definitely, this was the proof. What I found quite strange was that I was surrounded by many people, but I felt lonely. I was very lonely. But today, that number of people around me like is a bit limited, but we are like close friends to each other, and I feel safe. I feel happy with them, and what changed after that break? Why I came back to GreySheet? my current sponsor called me a couple of times, and at some point I thought, okay, I'm gonna to, oh, thank you, Anna. I'm gonna to get rid of her, and but that's how I started, committing my food, and I came back to GreySheet. I decided I wasn't thinking about what GreySheet can give me. I was thinking rather that I have nothing to lose. That's why I came back. And this definitely time flies too quickly for me. I've got lots of things to say. I know that people in the past, I was very unhappy and I was living in misery and insanity, and people who saw me on the street were scared, to be honest, and they sometimes said they didn't say hi because they were scared. So I wanted to show you quickly some of my photos from the past, and that was when I was, I don't know, can you see? Yeah, that was me when I was a child. Looks a bit happy. I wasn't sure that I was happy. This was me before I joined GreySheet. It wasn't my biggest weight yet. I was 45, and this was the other photo I was taken 2 years ago. I hope you are ready to see the worst version of me. That was me at the beginning of my addiction, and I'm not embarrassed to show this picture because I wanted to show you how the illness progress and what it makes from a person. And this is me 2 years ago on GreySheet, happy, and this is me yesterday or 2 days ago. And yes, I can say I'm happy now, and I want to share that with other people. That after some time of not attending the meetings, I'm back because I'm sure that I can't do this myself. I do service, and I'm happy to sponsor without like support of other people, without like supporting my absence. I would be very close to relapse once again. And what I wanted to say, thinking about the future always was a bit scary for me. And so instead of thinking, okay, I have to be absent for 20 years, I try to focus on today and even this particular hour, because this is the most important thing. I'm a kind of sprinter, so my longest commitment is my marriage, over 20 years. I have no idea how that happened, but in GreySheet I have to be focused just for today on this particular time. I need other people who have a similar experience. We can share our experience, strength, and hope, and thinking positive about my past experience is very important for me now. And I'm grateful for everything that happened in my life, because I know that those events made me a person who I am today. And without that, I wouldn't be probably that strong and ready for next commitments and next events in my life, whoever know what may happen. And I do believe that my abstinence is the gift from God, which I'm very grateful for. And important stages. Thank you, Anna. Thanks so much. Important stages of my recovery are: go to meetings, get a sponsor, become a sponsor, work the steps, and do service. And I've heard that I'm not so wise, so clever. I've heard that from somebody else who went that path before me. And before I pause, I wanted to say the most important statement in our fellowship, the responsibility statement. When anyone anywhere realizes they have a problem with food, I want them to think of the GreySheet solution. For that, I'm responsible. Thank you.